2022 and welcome to my channel. My name is Sarah and today we are going to be doing my 2022 plan with me. I honestly can't even believe I'm saying that. It does not feel like it's 2022. It doesn't feel like a new year. It's quite unreal to think about. But anyways, for this year's bullet journal, I did go with the second edition bullet journal. So I do get my bullet journal from the bullet journal website. I'll have a link down in the description, so if you guys want it, you can go ahead and grab it. I don't really know all the differences except for that the pages are thicker and they have more color options. And mainly I just wanted a pink bullet journal. But getting on to what we are doing for the main cover page of this spread of 2022, I wanted to go with something really simple. I'm doing a black sort of color scheme because I want this whole spread to be very simple. So for the first page, we just wrote my name, and after the video, I went ahead and added some personal information. That way, if the journal is ever lost, someone could find it. And then I also put a quote saying, "Here's to 2022. A year of new beginnings," because this year is going to be filled with so many new opportunities for me and all of us, and I just can't wait to see where they go. And then I did decide to do something new this year. I always feel like I'm doing something new for the beginning of each year in my bullet journal because I don't know, the first few pages of the bullet journal seem very hard for me to do because a lot of times I don't flip back to them just because I don't find them inspiring or I don't really need them. But I wanted to make something here in the front of my bullet journal that I would actually use, that I would actually enjoy looking back to. And I decided to go with a vision or mood board. I do call mine a vision board, just because it's what I want to vision my year turning out to look like, what I envision just all of my goals for this year. So while I'm doing this vision board, I do want to talk about what those goals are. So there's a lot going to be going on in my life this year. I'm going to be starting grad school. I'm most likely going to be starting a long distance relationship with my boyfriend, and I want to increase my yoga. I'm going to be traveling a lot, and I really just wanted to create something that was really going to focus on what I want this year to turn out. I do want to learn. I want to be able to do really well in graduate school, but I also want to grow as a person. I want to grow my relationship. I want to grow my yoga practice. And all of this is going to be really hard because, like I said, a lot is going to be changing this year, and I just can't imagine really what this year is going to look like, but I do imagine those few key things that I want to do, which again are just making my relationship with myself and my boyfriend stronger, making my yoga practice stronger, while still having growth in every aspect of my life. And that's what all the butterflies are for. I did add pictures of beaches, relationships at beaches, because I love the beach and I want to spend more time at the beach this year. I also added a bottle of water just because one of my goals every year is to try to drink a gallon of water a day. Most days I get it, some days I slack, but that's okay. I did add a picture of someone's little study room just to kind of help remind me that studying is going to be a major part of this year, along with a little long distance picture because, like I said, I will be starting a long distance relationship here come May. So I'm nervous, I'm scared, but I know it's going to work out. And then, of course, a little plane to show that I will be traveling. But, so I want to talk about how I'm doing this. So we've talked about my goals and everything. So I did print all of these out. I did print them out in black and white because, like I said, I'm going with a black theme. That way this beginning page is very simple, very sort of neutral. That way it goes with any other spread that I do in my journal. And then once I cut them out, I kind of cut them out how I wish, kind of made them small, kind of made them cute. And then I actually ended up taking tape and using that tape to tape it down. I don't have glue in my apartment, otherwise I would have used glue, just because the tape does kind of make them rise up off the page a little bit, so it kind of makes the page a little bulky. But I was able to get them all taped down, and then once they were all taped down, I came in with my Sharpie fine tip pen and my Crayola marker to sort of write down just some words that I want to add into my year. Like, the first word that I'm adding here is forgiveness. I found that it sometimes can be really hard to forgive others and kind of carry some memories with me throughout the year, so I definitely wanted to forgive anything that's happened in the past years and not bring them into the new year with me. I also added learn, I added love and growth. I also added live every day as a new one, and then I also added a quote that says enjoy the small moments, because this year one of my main goals is to enjoy all the small moments in life. I really want to take time out of every day, to just write down one small thing that happened that kind of made me smile. You'll see a little bit more of that in my monthly spreads. So if you aren't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on everything that is to come for this year, all the small moments, all the big moments, and everything. Whew, goodness. It's getting emotional just thinking about everything that is to come here in this new year. But getting on to the last spread of this 2022 plan with me, that is the future log. It is the only other sort of spread that I typically use here in the beginning of my journal. It's just a place where I like to come and add whatever it is that I'm going to be doing when I haven't had that month's plan. So example, there's a wedding that I will be going to in April, and I do not plan out my bullet journal at the beginning of the year. I plan it out month by month. So it would be kind of silly of me to kind of forget that I have that wedding and not have it put down anywhere. So I like to do this future log, that way for those things like that wedding that I can easily mark at the beginning of the year, like, hey, don't forget when you're planning April, this is happening, this is going to occur. That way it's just a good place for me to kind of look at the future and see what's ahead, see what I need to plan for, see when I need to take off, if I need to take things off in advance, and so forth. So it's actually a really kind of tedious spread because it is 4 pages wide, and I did three months on each page, which means I had to sit there and write out every day of the month over and over and over again. And it was very tedious. I definitely got to the point where I was like, I turned on a stream and just kind of watched the stream as I did this. I know some people listen to podcasts just to kind of fill the time, because it definitely gets to the point where you're like, why am I doing this? This is taking so long and yet so tedious. But anyways, so I did, of course, add a little bit of calligraphy with my Crayola super tip pen. These are my go-to pens. I have been using these pens since I started bullet journaling 7 journals ago. I also have been using my Sharpie fine tip pen the same amount of time. I have had to buy a lot more Sharpie fine tip pens than I have my Crayola. I couldn't even count how many I've had to buy, maybe like 7 or 8 in that time. I would say maybe a pack for each journal, but for my Crayola super tip pens, I've only ever had to buy 2 packs. I do get the large packs that have over, I think it's like 150 colors, but they are my go-to pens because they're inexpensive. They don't bleed or smudge. I could run my hand over it over both the Crayola and the Sharpie pen directly after writing on the page, and they won't bleed, which is amazing. And they also don't bleed through the page. Definitely with this this second edition bullet journal, these pages are really thick, so it's really hard to have them bleed through the page. I will of course have a link down in the description to both of the Amazon links, so that you guys can invest in these pens if you want to, or you don't have to. These are just my recommendations, and of course you can use whatever your heart desires. They're just my recommendations to anyone that doesn't have a lot of money, or to a beginner that might not know if they want to invest in a lot of expensive stationery at this time. But enough talk about stationery. I hope you guys enjoyed this spread. Like I said, for this 2022 Plan With Me, I wanted to do something that I really was actually going to use. I didn't want to waste pages on something that I wasn't going to flip back to and use, which I have done in previous years. So that's why I kept it simple. But another reason is I do plan on posting a lot more Plan With Me's this year. My goal is to try to post one a week. So I wanted to keep it simple. That way I could have more spreads to share with you guys and to go into depth into with you all on a weekly basis. So if that sounds fun and exciting to you, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Come on this journey of this crazy year that 2022 is going to be. And if you like this video, if you like the sound of more regular bullet journal content from me, please hit that big thumbs up button. Comment your favorite part of this spread down in the comment section. And until next time, have a lovely rest of your week. Bye!